to my channel. I know it's been a minute since I've done a video for you guys. Been through a few life changes, but I'm back and I hope to start making videos on a more regular basis again. And today I wanted to show you how I made these very spring and summer-like dainty earrings. And it's a great way to use up some of your beads that you may have. It doesn't take a lot, and it's a very quick and easy process. So if that's something you'd like to see, please hit the like button, come back, and we'll get started. So we're going to make the mate to this pink earring. I made a pink version of the teal one that I showed you. And so for this earring, you're going to need not very many beads. All you're going to need are like four 4mm. And I've got a fire polish bead here in 2 different colors. I'm going to alternate them. I've got a 4 3mm fire polish. I've got a 6mm pearl. I've got a drop that's drilled from the top to the bottom, and that's in a pearlized finish. And I've got some bugle beads in I think these are 3mm silver bugle beads. You're going to need an ear wire, a wire guard, and a little post. I'm also using fireline. I'm using 4-pound because that's what I have, but you can certainly use 6 or 8, whatever beading thread you like to use. And I'm using size 11 beading needle, but you could also use a 10. So go ahead, get your needle threaded. You're only going to need about 2 to 2.5 feet of thread. Come back and we'll continue. Okay, I am not using a stop bead, but feel free to use a stop bead if you would like to, because I'm going to sew the beads into a circle right away. So I'm going to start by picking up my pink 4mm, rose colored 3mm, cream colored 4mm, 3mm, back to my pink 4mm, 3mm, back to my cream, and then back to the 3mm. So this is what's on your needle. So you're going to pull them down and sew them into a circle. Leave a few inches of a tail thread to sew in. And I'm just going to sew right back up. The beads. And that's going to sew them into a circle. And I'm going to come out the pink 4mm. So get that done, come back and we'll continue. Okay, so I'm coming out of this 4mm pink bead. I'm going to pick up 2 11-0, and we're going to hop over to this cream 4mm, skipping the 3mm, like that. And you're going to try and train the beads to sit on the inside. You're going to pick up 2 more. Coming out of the top of this 4mm, going to go into the next pink one, like that. Like I said, we're going to train the beads to sit on the inside. This is going to be the front of the earring. Pick up 2 more. Go from the pink, hop over to the cream colored one. Like that. And then one more time, 2 more 11-0. Hop over to that pink. this is what you have, and now I'm going to go ahead and reinforce, and then I'll be back and we'll continue on. Okay, so this is what you have, and I went around and I did one more round to reinforce. Went from the 2 through to the 4mm all the way around, but I did not go into that 3mm. But so I'm coming out of this 4mm, and I'm just gonna hop right over to the 3mm and sew through. This is gonna be the front of your earring, and now we're gonna work on the back. So I'm coming out of that 3mm. You're gonna pick up 1 11/0, 1 bugle bead, 1 11/0, and you're coming out of this 3mm. You're gonna hop over to that next one. Like that. And then just as we did on the front, you're gonna try and train the beads to come inward. It's a little clumsy at first until you get a couple rounds of reinforcement in. So again, you're coming out of that 3mm, you're gonna pick up an 11/0, a 3mm bugle bead, another 11/0. That one's kind of sticking there. I got a different one. All right, coming out of this 3mm, I'm gonna go into the next 3mm. All right. Trust the process, because it, like I said, all beading to begin with is a little wonky. So pick up a 11/0 bugle bead, 11/0. You're coming out of this 3mm. You're gonna go into that next 3mm. Got to put on one more group. Coming out of this 3mm, pick up an 11/0 bugle bead, 11/0, go into this next 3mm. Okay, and this is what's going to be the back of your earring, and I'm going to go ahead and go off camera and reinforce, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've sewn around the back, and this is what you have. This is the back, and this is the front. So I'm coming out of this 11/0 right here. I'm going to turn my work over, and I'm just going to sew right up this cream colored 4mm, like that. Now I'm going to pick up my 6mm pearl, and I'm coming out of the top of this 4mm. I'm going to go into the bottom of the one directly across, like that. And that will secure this 6mm right in the middle, like that. All right, so I'm going to sew around a little bit. Snake my way around to where I want to start putting on the wire guard. And I'm gonna come right through this 3mm, like that. And I'm gonna pick up 4 11/0. Coming out of the 3mm right here. I'm going to go through the other side of that 3mm like that. And then I'm going to just sew up these two 11-0. This is what you have. Now I'm going to take my wire guard, go through one end of that wire guard, bring that down to my work, go through the other end of that wire guard, and through the two 11-0s on the other side, making sure that your thread is in the grooves of that wire guard. I'm going to go through that again to reinforce. I'm going to go down through that 3mm, like that, up through these two seed beads and making sure I get through one side of that wire guard like that. I caught my tail thread here. There we go. And I'm going to go down the other side like that. And then I'm going to go back through that 3mm. And now we're ready to go on to the next step. So this is what we have. I went ahead and sewed my tail thread in because it was getting in the way, and I just wanted to get that out of the way as soon as I could. So this is what we have. I'm coming out of this pink 3mm right here, and I'm going to snake my way all the way down to this one, and we're going to put on the drop. Now this in and of itself would be a cute little earring, but we're going to keep going, and I'm going to sew through to make my way down, keeping on the thread path. Going through that 4mm, and then I'm going to just pop over a tiny bit. It's still on the thread path though, through that 3mm at the bottom there. Okay, so now I'm going to, let me see, how many did I put here? I'm going to pick up 3 11-0. I'm going to go through my drop, pick up 3 more 11-0, and bring that down to your work like that. And then to make the little picot, all you're going to do is sew back up that drop like this. Whoop. And then this is what you have. We're going to add 3 more 11-0. We're coming out of the top of this drop, and we're going to just put our needle in back through that 3mm like that. And then this is what you have. That's your drop. And I'm just going to go back and reinforce, and then I'll come back and we'll put the ear wire in, and we'll have a pair of earrings. Okay, so I've sewn my threads in, and we've got our earring. I just need to put my ear wire on. I'll pick up your ear wire, open that up. Slip it on your wire guard. Close it up. And here we have our little backing. And there you go. We've got ourselves a pair of pretty little summer earrings. Great for prom, great for weddings. Here's the blue pair we made. Okay, so here are little spring summer earrings. Like I said, they're great for proms and weddings and Mother's Day, and they hardly took any time at all to make. It took me longer because I was filming it, but it comes together very fast. You can use up some stray beads that you may have. You can try using other beads. You could try, instead of a fire polish, you could possibly use little pearls, 3 and 4 millimeter pearls. You know, sky's the limit with your imagination. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a like, hit the subscribe button, and you'll be notified of any time I upload a new video. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.